Hello, I'm Bobby Miles from Texas Skid Steer. What we're going to discuss today are what some of the terms mean regarding skid steer loaders. You'll hear terms like tipping capacity and operating capacity and breakout force, and everybody wants to know, well, how much will they lift? Well, I want to tell you what the different terms mean. Tipping capacity, how the companies will come up with the number, of tipping capacity. They'll take the machine, they'll put it on a level concrete slab, they'll put the boom all the way in the air, and they'll add weight to the boom until it literally falls over frontwards or tips over. That is a machine's tipping capacity. The operating capacity is generally about 50% of the tipping capacity. And the reason they do that, see, that the operating capacity is not a figure that you can just trust. It's simply a fraction of the tipping capacity. And the reason they do that is the companies don't know what kind of terrain you're going to be using the machine on. You could be on a very unlevel surface, something that, a surface that has a lot of bumps in it. They don't know what you're going to be running the machine on, so they're not going to tell you what, the operating capacity is the same as the tipping capacity, because the tipping capacity is done on a flat level concrete surface with the machine not moving. So they'll say like 50% or 33% of the tipping capacity is a safe operating capacity, and of course that keeps you safe and it covers their rear end from getting in lawsuits. So the tipping capacity and the operating capacity are not the same thing. Tipping capacity is when it will fall over frontwards when you add a certain amount of weight. A machine that has a 6,000 pound tipping capacity at 50% would be a 3,000 pound operating capacity. And of course, if they did their figure at 33%, it would be higher than that. Now, how much will it lift? Well, the best way to find out what a machine will lift is look at the breakout force number. The breakout force is what the hydraulics will actually lift. Now, keep in mind, sometimes that the breakout force is actually as high, the same, or sometimes higher than the tipping capacity. So if you've got a machine that has a tipping capacity of 6,000 pounds and the breakout force, it's at 6,200 pounds, then that means if you try to lift something that weighs 6,200 pounds, the machine's simply going to go over forwards because the breakout force is higher than the tipping capacity. But that being said, if the tipping capacity is 6,000 pounds and the operating capacity is 3,000 pounds, you don't want to lift something that weighs 4,000 pounds and run around with a bucket in the air, because you could hit a bump and you could go over frontwards. So you need to pay attention to the operating capacity and the tipping capacity, but keep in mind, the tipping capacity, you can usually lift about that, but you'll want to lift it and, slowly back up, easily, let it down to the ground, and carry it about 4 inches from the ground. That way, if you hit a bump or something and it goes over, well, you haven't gone very far and it keeps you safe. Anyway, that's what I wanted to let you know in this video. Like if you're going to unload a truck, well, you can unload a truck most of the time with a machine. If what you're unloading, say it weighs 3,000 pounds and the operating load is 2,500 pounds, well, you can usually still get it unloaded, but you need to move very slow, take the load to the ground, and then keep it low to the ground when you travel. I mean, that's always a good idea anyway. Carry your loads low to the ground, because we want to use a skid steer loader for all of our needs, but the last thing we want to do is get hurt. And so be careful. And something else to keep in mind, as a general rule, rubber track machines are a lot more stable than tire machines are. So keep that in mind. This is Bobby Miles. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm the owner of Texas Skid Steer. I try to do a lot of videos about skid steer loaders, just general information videos. I want the customer to be, as well informed as possible when they buy a skid steer loader. So thank you for watching, and y'all have a blessed day. Oh, by the way, you can see all of my used skid steer loaders for sale at texasskidsteer.com. Thank you.